What is up, awesome people of the internet? Guys, we got some games to talk about. Yesterday was kind of epic in the world of the WNBA. We're going to talk about the two games that happened. We're also going to give you an update on EuroBasket as well. And also talk about the fact that, actually, we're going to ask the question, who has the best home court advantage in the WNBA? That and more on today's episode of Quita in the Mornings. So make sure you hit that like button and let's get to it.
Are you ready?
Are you ready?
Are you ready? Ready, set, go.
Get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready. Okay, let's get into today's show. And we first want to start off by talking about what happened last night, okay? We're going to go game by game. First up, the first game that I want to talk about, the first game of the night, which was the New York Liberty at home versus the Phoenix Mercury. We come into this game, seeing Jonquel Jones back in the lineup, and that was really, really great to see temporarily. We'll talk about Jonquel in just a sec. But this was a game that I was personally just expecting New York to win. I was like, oh, yes, you do have Phoebich, who is gone over in Europe right now. However, you got Jonquel back, and so I was expecting, this New York Liberty team to rock and roll at home. But just because you're at home does not mean you are going to get the dub, and it doesn't mean everything is going to go smoothly. Early in this game, the New York Liberty had something terrible happen. Jonquel Jones, who just got back in the lineup for this team, Jonquel Jones ends up on the ground holding her. It looked like her knee at first, but it was I believe it was ultimately her ankle that was messed up. Jonquel plays only 9 minutes in yesterday's game before going down in the second quarter, and in a lot of ways, that really did hurt the New York Liberty. I think it kind of like messed everything up. Where Jonquel, we all know how great Jonquel is. We all know how important she is to the team. When Jonquel Jones gets a double-double, it's pretty much a guaranteed New York Liberty win. And to have your star center go down early in the second with an ankle injury, it means everybody else has to step up. And we did see some more people step up, right? We did see Breanna Stewart have a fantastic game. Now, here's the thing. Here's what I find kind of funny is that sometimes, and have y'all noticed this? Sometimes when we look at the New York Liberty, it's like an either-or thing. Either we at Sabrina Ionescu lighting it up, scoring a ton in the 30s in terms of points, right? Or it is Breanna Stewart. It's not crazy often that we see both of them go off for a lot of points. At least to start this season, we haven't seen it that much. However, yesterday, when we talk about defense, number one, the Phoenix Mercury play some defense. They play some pretty physical defense at times, and ultimately that type of defense does not bode well for a ton of points when it comes to Sabrina Ionescu. She did struggle quite a bit in this game. She was 1 for 10 when it comes to 3-point shots. Ultimately, she did get to the free throw line a bunch and did finish the game with 16 points. But very, very tough sledding for Sabrina Ionescu. She struggled with the really good defense of the Phoenix Mercury. And while she was struggling, Breanna Stewart was cooking. Breanna Stewart finishes this game with a flurry of free throws because, fouls are a thing. Basically, the only people who shot free throws for the New York Liberty was Breanna Stewart and Sabrina Ionescu. Basically no one else shot free throws besides those two players. They were the only players getting fouled. That's not true, but it felt that way. It felt that way because they were the only ones that ended up at the free throw line. They ended up at the free throw line, and Breanna Stewart, even without her free throws, she was absolutely cooking yesterday. Okay, 35 points for Breanna Stewart. She shot very efficiently, 11 of 17 from the field. She was cooking with gas. However, the unfortunate part is just because you got Breanna Stewart doing her thing, if everybody else is not rising to that occasion, the New York Liberty is going to have a hard time winning, especially, again, with Jonquel Jones going out early in the second quarter, with Leonie Fibic over in Europe. You need more than just one player. But unfortunately for the New York Liberty, especially against the mighty Mercury. Mighty Mercury. Mighty Mercury. Y'all know that? Mighty Mercury. We are number one. We are number one. Number one Mercury. Anyway, you can't do that against the Mercury. That's my point. That's my point. You cannot do that against the Mercury where you have one player kind of do a little bit of everything, and everybody else not step up. Sabrina Ionescu needed to have a better game. However, she does struggle against better defenses. She does. She does struggle against better defense, and she struggled yesterday. Okay, and it wasn't just her. Right? Kennedy Burke also didn't give you that much in terms of points. Same thing for Tosh Cloud. Tosh Cloud, I thought she was about to go off. Yesterday because, again, she's playing her former team, right? She's playing her former team in the Phoenix Mercury, a team that she felt did her wrong, a team that basically said that, yeah, hey, you're going to be here, you're going to be here basically forever. And then they up and traded her to Connecticut nonetheless. Now, she did wind her way over to New York, but she still feels the type of way against Phoenix. And I thought that we would see a bigger offensive game for Natasha Cloud, but ultimately we didn't. She had 8 points, really great passes as per usual, 10 assists for her. But I was expecting a little bit more when it comes to when it came to Natasha Cloud. Though I do have to give a huge shout out. Okay. Whenever we see a point guard have 10 assists, you always gotta look at their turnovers, right? Always gotta look at the turnovers to be like, okay, high number of assists isn't that great. How many turnovers did you get? Well, here's the fun fact: 0 turnovers for Natasha Cloud. So I gotta say, man, I gotta say that's pretty cool. That is rare. Pick a point guard, any point guard. That is rare for a point guard to have 10 assists and 0 turnovers. That's very rare. Very, very rare. So I gotta shout out Tosh Cloud for that, but I did expect more from her from a scoring perspective because Tosh Cloud can score. She absolutely can. But even though she kind of feels like the Phoenix Mercury did her wrong, basically no one on the Phoenix Mercury who's currently on the team was on the team last year with her. So, some exceptions, but for the most part, this is a brand new Phoenix Mercury team, and this brand new Phoenix Mercury team. It begins and ends with the engine. Phoenix Mercury, this is a team that runs from the power of Alyssa Thomas. Now, in yesterday's game, we did see Kalia Copper on the sidelines in street clothes, right? We saw her just kind of, cheering from the sidelines again, because she has been someone who has dealt with injuries this year. So she was out last night, but it didn't matter because the Phoenix Mercury have a big three, right? It's not just Kalia Copper. You got Satu Sabli. It's not just Satu Sabli. You got Alyssa Thomas. And maybe we need to seriously start adding some of these Phoenix Mercury rookies in the conversation for Rookie of the Year. Because number one, Alyssa Thomas, great game as always. Almost got a triple-double in yesterday's game. 18 points for her, 15 rebounds, 7 assists. She was doing a little bit of everything. 1 turnover, guys. That's like, usually Alyssa Thomas, she can rack up sometimes on those turnovers, right? She gonna get those passes in, but sometimes she gonna get a good amount of turnovers. And yesterday, just one turnover for Alyssa Thomas. She was passing that basketball, and who was she passing it to? Well, she was passing it to players like Monique Okoa-Makani, not a traditional rookie. She is still pretty young, right? But she's 24 years old. But Monique Okoa-Makani was absolutely amazing yesterday. Okay, shot efficiently from the field, and she finished with a team high 21 points for the Rook. It was cool to see. Here's the deal. You got to pick your poison. The New York Liberty had to pick their poison when it came to the Phoenix Mercury. Okay? You know the ball is going to be in Alyssa Thomas's hand, right? So when Alyssa Thomas drives towards the rim, what do? Well, you got to kind of collapse. But then Alyssa Thomas has options. She can bulldoze her way through you and still get to the rim. She can do a fun spin move and get to the rim. Or she can throw it out to one of her teammates and get them the basketball and make some stuff happen. And that is what makes this Phoenix Mercury team so dangerous. Is because when she passes it out, when she gets the ball to one of her teammates, they can knock down a shot, guys. They can knock down a shot. Right? When it comes to players, and this did not happen yesterday, but I'm just giving this as an example. It was said on the PNX Mercury show that Alyssa Thomas has more assists for threes to Monique Okoa-Makani than anybody else on the Phoenix Mercury team. Now, while Okoa-Makani did not make a three yesterday, the kickouts that we see from Alyssa Thomas is just really, really fun to see. And we just see how deep this team really is for the Phoenix Mercury. And guys, I didn't even get to Sammy Wickham, because Sammy Wickham, I thought, had a really, really fantastic game as well. She was knocking down that three, okay? She was knocking down in that three. She ultimately had 16 points in this one. Four threes in last night's game. And so, yeah, I thought that was pretty fun as well. But once again, we see the Phoenix Mercury bench continue to step up and make an impact. Loxa came off the bench, had 13 points. She was pretty fantastic, guys. And you get production. And you make stuff happen. And yes, the New York Liberty had an opportunity to win this late in the game. However, they just don't. And they lose at home, okay? They're on a bit of a losing streak. I believe this is the second game in three games they've lost, right? They lost to the Fever, and they beat the Dream, and now they lose to the Phoenix Mercury. So the New York Liberty got to get it together, and if Jonquel Jones is out for a long time, I mean, it's going to be tough sledding. It's going to be tough sledding for the Libs, okay? Tough sledding. All right, let's get to what y'all got to say. Pat says, AT is an awesome player. I agree. Tariq says, with JJ and Phoebage out, the Liberty look completely different. Size and muscle definitely isn't an issue. Here's the deal. Jonquel is very scary to go against when it comes to the defensive end, meaning that, like, you know, she has a lot of size on her. She's going to block your shot on defense. She's going, like, that's, like, she is a person that you really got to go against. And also someone who can get to her spots and dominate on the offensive end as well. And then you have a player like a Leonie Phoebage, who is a guard. However, Leo is tall. Leo is a very tall guard. She has the height of basically a forward, but she plays the guard position. And her defense, because of her length, is very, very beneficial for the New York Liberty. Now, with her being out, again, that it just, with both of those players being out, it just exposes some stuff for the New York Liberty, and they kind of have to get it together. We'll see what happens. We will see. Laura says, I do agree with Quita about Cloud. However, I was surprised she was so quiet. I really did expect her to have a great game. And she did, in terms of taking care of the basketball, finding her teammates, but I thought she was going to do more offensively. That's what I thought. Okay. X 2024 says, good morning, chat. Do you want something free? ? Hit that like button and see the channel grow. Yes. Hit that like button. Hit that like button. It really does help the channel out a whole lot. Okay. All right, let's get to the next game. The game that some of y'all are asking, hey, did she talk about this already? I have not, and I'm going to talk about it right now, okay? Because the game that seems like a lot of y'all want to talk about is this one. This one. Guys, yeah, here's the deal. This game was late. And I'm not going to lie to you. I thought this was going to be a game that I was going to watch while half falling asleep. I thought I was going to lay on the couch, got the TV on, got Amazon Prime on, and I thought I was going to watch this game, but because it was late, it was a late game, 9 p.m. start time for me, and 10 p.m. start time on the East Coast. Usually I try to get to bed early because I have to do these streams and I have to get up really, really early and prep and all that stuff. And so I was expecting to probably fall asleep while watching the game. However, guys, what happened in the second half of this game? Oh, guys, I was wide awake. As the Golden State Valkyries served the Indiana Fever a taste of actually being on the road for a chance, as the Valks took down the Fever 88-77. Dude, what a game. This was a game that really showed the magic of the whiteboard for head coach of the Golden State Valkyries, Natalie Mikase. Since this season has started, You all know I have said I had my doubts about the Golden State Valkyries coming into this season because of some of the roster moves they were making and whatnot. And I was like, okay, well, we're gonna see, but I don't anticipate a crazy amount of awesomeness from the Valks. However, the board of Natalie Nikase, the scouting for this Golden State Valkyries team is amazing, guys. We saw a whole lot of defense, grit, togetherness, and we saw an entire row of players on the bench ready to make some noise. Again, final score 88, Valks 77, Indiana Fever. Guys, this game felt like a completely different game in the last 10 minutes. Felt like a completely different game in the second half, where the Golden State Valkyries, they have several huge plays that gets the crowd up. Now, first question I got for y'all, first question that I would love to ask in the chat. Right? The first question I want to ask is, were y'all awake for this one? And what was your reaction to the fourth quarter onslaught by the Golden State Valks? Okay, because here's the deal. And actually, let me get to some of y'all. Let me get to some of y'all questions or comments, I should say. Faye says, talk about that, Quita, because when Paige beat the Valkyries the other day, you said their squad was... So keep the same energy, Quita. Okay. Here's the deal. As the announcer, I forgot to announce the person's name, but as the announcer said last night, they said that the Golden State Valkyries, they lost a bad game to a bad team, the Dallas Wings. The Golden State Valkyries, the way they played against the Dallas Wings was what I was expecting to see against the Indiana Fever. I was expecting to see, I was coming into this game expecting to half be asleep watching this game because I thought that Indiana was about to roll over the Golden State Valkyries. Because just looking at how the Golden State Valkyries just played against the Dallas Wings and looking at how the Indiana Fever just wiped the floor with the New York Liberty, I was coming into this game expecting the Fever to just easily take down the Valks. But that did not happen. And that's what made me so excited about this second half because I didn't expect it. Y'all, if y'all know me, if you all know me, you all know that when players and when teams play better than I expect, I get crazy excited. I get crazy excited because it's fun for me. Again, I don't care who wins, but I came into this game expecting the Golden State Valkyries to lose in a pretty substantial fashion. Right? But they came into this game saying, you know what? We know what Caitlin likes to do. We know where she likes to go on the court. We're going to beat her to those spots. We are going to frustrate her without fouling. And our crowd is going to get into it. And she's going to get frustrated. She's not going to play very good. Aaliyah Boston played really good. So, shout out to Aaliyah Boston. And ultimately, the Golden State Valkyries got the job done. If the Sky are playing, I will wear the hat of Sky fan. And I will tell you that. I don't know what else to say. You all know that. I'm very upfront with that. When anybody else is playing, even in college and other WNBA teams, I don't care who wins. I just want to watch a great game. I just want to watch a good game. And in yesterday's game, we saw the Golden State Valkyries have several people have minutes on Caitlin, and they kind of shut her down. I will say, though, a shout out to Aaliyah Boston, especially in that first half. I thought she was very, very impactful in this game. 17 points for her, 12 rebounds for her as well. Yeah. Caitlin, I gotta say, she almost did have a triple-double as well. 11 points, 7 rebounds, 9 assists. She does not have a three-point shot in this game. She actually got called on a travel in this one. She got called on a travel. Was that in the fourth quarter? Third or fourth quarter? I don't remember. But she, you know how she does that step back? They actually called that a travel, which, here's the deal. WNBA players travel a lot. It just depends on if the referees call it. There are so many WNBA players who travel. Guards and post players alike. And they're kind of traveling all the time. It just depends on if the referees want to call it. And that and they called it on that one. And she's going for her like, that step back 3-point shot. And they called the travel, and then the guy, I put this as I put him on my thumbnail because he was so funny. There's a guy who plays for the Golden State Warriors. He's not that great on the Warriors. He's like a bench player or whatever. But after that travel, he was like, it was so funny. It was so funny, guys. And the reason why is just because he was so into it. Like this guy is like one of the best fans out there, right? He's like one of the best fans out there for the Golden State Valkyries. Here we go. This is the graphic. Fan of the year. Fan of the year for this guy. And here's the thing. This guy, if some of y'all, if this is the first time of y'all seeing this guy, is because you don't watch the Golden State Valkyries home games. He has been there. I think he's been there just about every single home game. He's there. And he wears the jersey, and he goes crazy on the bench. Or not on the bench, on the front row. Every home game, basically. So this was not like a unique thing that was specific to. It was not a unique thing that was specific to the fact that they were playing the Fever. No, that's what he does. That's what he does. Okay. All right. And I thought it was kind of funny. I thought it was kind of fun. Angie said, I thought he was being a jerk. I mean, he's a fan. And I will say this, if just a fan and not another NBA, if Potts was not an NBA player, would he have been allowed to be as flamboyant with his actions as he was last night? I don't know. But I will say he has been very animated for basically all the I really can't remember him missing a home game for the Valks. He's there all the time, and he's very animated. He is very, very, very animated. And I will say that it does bring an extra oomph to the crowd, because the Golden State Warriors have a great fan base. The Golden State Valkyries now have a great fan base. They have sold out for for 6 of their home games already. Sold out. So this is not, so yesterday they were sold out again. 18,000 plus was in the building. And some of y'all may be like, it was just because they were playing the Fever. No, this is what this team does. This is what this team does. Yeah, he's a player. He plays for the Golden State Warriors. Yeah. He plays for the Golden State Warriors. But what I'm saying is, if he was not a NBA player, I don't know if he would be able to do as much, be as animated. However, in some realm, Spike Lee is also very animated on the front row. He's very animated and he's very fun. You know, it's just that Pods is just younger, and is more like movement driven. But anyway, I thought it was fun. I thought it was very, very fun. And I think that Pods helps to get the rest of the Golden State Valks crowd up, because this crowd was on a string in the third and fourth quarter. There was a little lull. Do y'all remember in the third quarter there was a lull where the Golden State Valkyries couldn't hit anything, and then the Fever kept turning over the basketball. Like it was turnovers and missed shots for a long stretch. And ultimately, I believe it was Natalie Nicasa that ended up calling a timeout. And then they regrouped. And then we saw the Golden State Valkyries kind of get it together, right? Teacher says, of course not. It's just like how Spike Lee gets away with his antics on the sideline. Yeah, because Spike Lee is Spike Lee, right? He's a famous guy. If you as a regular person, or really an awesome person on the internet, but in real life, a regular person like me, if we were to, do that after Caitlyn travels and do all the antics that Potts was doing yesterday, we might get kicked out. But special rules for special people, I guess, special rules for special people. All right. Which I thought was pretty fun. Shamika says, thank you so much for the super chat, says the Valkyries stadium experience looks top tier. Let's start a fund to get Quita to a game in person so she can share the experience with the awesome people at Internet Crew. Man, that'd be so fun. Like truly, I need to go. I need to go to Golden State. I got to. I don't know if it's going to be this year. It may not be this year. But hopefully, that'd be cool. That'd be really cool if it was this year. But yeah, I need to go to a game because I got to see it in person. Like the watching that game and watching even remember when the Valks won against the LA Sparks, the crowd was up, right? Like this crowd is fun. This crowd is so fun. So fun. Also, I did Mr. Super Chat earlier. Thank you so much. Paper Sack Brown. It's hilarious name. Thank you so much for the Super Chat. Says, salute, Quita. I'm saying it now. Natalie Nicasa is the best coach in the W based on freedom of movement and bench utilization. Great show as always. Speaking of bench utilization and the amazing board work of Natalie Nicasa, Golden State's bench outscored Indiana's by 28. The bench play was immaculate. It absolutely was immaculate for the Golden State Valkyries. Every single bench player who came in the game yesterday scored. All of them. Every bench player scored. Here's the deal about the Golden State Valkyries. They don't just have a deep bench. I believe Kayla Thornton may have said this, or somebody on the Golden State Valkyries said this a couple of games ago. They said that we are a team of 6 women. Because they are. They are. This is a team that everybody can come on the court and give you something. Everybody. That's hard to go against. It is. They have a arsenal of players on the bench that's going to give you points. Chloe Bibby, in her first game in the WNBA ever, plays 24 points, gives you 12 plays 24 minutes, 24 minutes. Gives you 12 big points in this game in her WNBA debut, guys. In her first game. The 27-year-old rookie who went through training camp with the Golden State Valkyries, ultimately did get cut. Now she's back with this team. And what does she do? 12 big ones. 3 rebounds. Off the bench for this Golden State Valkyries team. Okay? Let's go down the line. Letitia Amy here. LA. Goes to training camp with the Golden State Valkyries. What actually was picked up in an expansion draft. Joins the Golden State Valkyries. Goes to training camp. Gets cut at the end of training camp. Has a great preseason, right? Gets cut. And it was a lot of like, why'd you cut her? And yada, yada, yada. I guess trust the process. Letitia Amy here is back with this team because of the players going overseas, because of the just sheer amount of EuroBasket players that this Golden State Valkyries team has. They had to pick up some more players. So they picked up Chloe Bibby back on this team. They picked up Letitia Amy here back on this team. These 2 players have gone through training camp. They know the whole process. And Letitia Amy here played some fan-freaking-tastic defense, guys. Play some big-time defense. What was it in the fourth quarter where Letitia Amy here ended up playing some fantastic help defense on, was that Aaliyah Boston? And she ended up kind of blocking the shot. And she had 4 blocks in this game. Like Letitia Amy here was amazing. And I tell you, if LA gets cut, but when these players come back, when the EuroBasket players come back, she needs to get picked up immediately. Like, I feel like I've seen enough. Like yes, people could have said, oh, she did what she did in preseason, but that's preseason, whatever. Nah. The game that we saw Letitia Amy here play defensively, guys, was huge. And offensively, she was doing her thing. 10 points for her. 4 blocks, 4 big blocks, 3 assists, 3 rebounds. She did a little bit of everything when it comes to Letitia Amy here. Guys, dog. It was fantastic to see. It was fantastic to see, guys. It really was. And then you got Tiff Hayes. You got Tiff Hayes, who played some lockdown defense. Come on, guys. Come on. Tiff Hayes comes off the bench, plays a massive amount of minutes, and locked down Caitlin Clark. Not only did she lock her down, but she was offensively getting to her spots and making an impact. 14 points for Tiff Hayes, 5 assists, a huge steal in the fourth quarter. So basically, whenever it felt like the Indiana Fever were about to, get it back together in the fourth quarter, it was like something spectacular happened. Right? It was like something spectacular for the Golden State Valkyries happened. And I thought that was kind of cool to see. So here's the deal. Here is the deal. This Golden State Valkyries team is special. This team is so very special. And I don't know how you can look at this team and look at the players on this roster and not be amazed at what they are doing on the court. Right? How can you not be amazed? Whether it's Tiff Hayes making a long mid-range jumper, whether it's Kate Martin dropping a big time 3-point bucket, whether that's Chloe Bibby, a player that most people had no idea existed, coming in the game making big shots. This Golden State Valkyries team is amazing. It just is. I love the confidence that this team has coming off the bench. And my question to you is, what bench player impressed you the most? Right? Was it Kate Martin with that giant 3-point shot, finishing with 9 points in this game? Was it Tiff Hayes and her fantastic defense? Was it Chloe Bibby kind of coming out of nowhere to make some stuff happen? Or it was Letitia Amihere stepping up and stepping out? Who was the player you were most impressed with? For me, I love defense, okay? I love defense, and so for me, the best player off the bench for the Golden State Valkyries is Tiff Hayes. Hands down, in my opinion. But what do you say? I'm curious to hear what you all have to say. All right, and then, of course, we got to talk about the starters. I spent a long time talking about the bench because, well, also, Tiff Hayes is not really a bench player. She's not really a bench player. So that's that. But she's had all those facial injuries and whatnot. So, she's coming off the bench right now, but, she's not a bench player. But let's talk about the starters for this team. Kayla Thornton, her ability to spot up and make threes is huge. How many kickouts to threes did we see in this game? 5 3-point buckets for Kayla Thornton, the ultimate 6 woman who is starting. Okay? 16 points for her in this game. 16 points for her, 6 rebounds. She did her absolute thing in this game. Mo Billings also was a big factor in this one. 8 points for her. We got Carla Late, who does her thing as well. Veronica Burton as well. What I'm trying to say is there is not one star on this team. There's just not. It could be Tiff Hayes' night. It could be Kayla Thornton's night. It could be Mo Billings' night. It could be Veronica Burton's night. It could be Carla Late's night. It could be anybody's night for this Golden State Valkyries team, because this is a one for all for one type of team. And the reason why is because of the environment that Natalie Nakase has created. Natalie Nakase clearly is the best head coach when it comes to this new batch of new coaches that we've seen. There's a lot of coaches who are, this is their first year in the WNBA. Well, no. It's between Golden State and Atlanta. It's between Golden State and Atlanta for top rookie coaches. However, Golden State is doing what they're doing on a less talented roster on paper than the Atlanta Dream. And so, yeah. Pam says this team of 6 men is balling. They are. And the thing I love is that the fans are here. Again, 6 sellouts for a team that does not have a star. In what world is that normal? I'm just saying there is something special happening in Golden State. Something special. And I love to see it. I love to see it. Oh, wow. We got a huge influx of Super Chats. Thank you. Thank you so much to the best in the North for the Super Chat. Says, I'm giving to this channel. We don't have enough good channels who offer real substance, news, and analytical perspective. So shout out to you, Quita. Well, thank you for your support. Really do appreciate it. Ken, thank you so much for the super chat. Says, Quita, really seriously hope you do make it out to see the Valkyries. Man, I hope I do too. That'd be really, really fun to see. Thank you so much for the super chat. Says, Quita live from Golden State Valkyries. Fun. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. And Nay, thank you so much for the super chat. Says, both Natalie and Tyler coached in Vegas last year. Why do you think Natalie was able to find success earlier than Tyler? I will say it could be because Natalie was involved in the entire process. Before one player was picked on this Golden State Valkyries team, Natalie Nakase was there. Whereas, Tyler absolutely did have a say of sorts in terms of like who's on this team. Like him and Jeff Pagliacca supposedly have been working together to like determine what they do in free agency and all that good jazz. But Tyler Marsh did not build the team from scratch, right? We had Ohima is the GM for the Golden State Valkyries. Her and Natalie, they were the ones who literally every single player on this Golden State Valkyries team was hand selected by those two. And so it could be that Natalie had a very, very, very specific type of offense and defense that she wanted to play. And her and Ohima really worked out some stuff, and they were like, okay, well, if this is what you want to run, let's get these players. And while it didn't totally make sense at the time, again, when the expansion draft happened, and after it was over, I was like, yeah, this is a team of bench players. Like they got a whole team of bench players that they just picked up. And then we saw what they did in terms of just like signing free agents, and when we saw what they did in the WNBA draft, and it didn't totally make a lot of sense, but it's very clear that because she had the opportunity to literally construct this roster from scratch, there was nothing. Whereas Tyler, this could be good or bad because look at what's happening in Atlanta. Like it's actually a success. Right? In terms of like, players who were already on the team and whatnot before coach, oh darn it. I just blanked on his name. The head coach of the Atlanta Dream, who used to coach wasn't he the coach at Florida Gulf Coast, I believe? Anyway, there's something to being able to have, literally every single player handpicked versus how can we make this roster better? How can we make this current roster that's already here with contracts that I can't change? How can we make this work? Instead of literally, let me select whoever. Let me select each player that I want, right? Because in the expansion draft, they could select. They were able to pass on anybody, on any team. And didn't they pass on the Seattle Storm? Like wasn't the Seattle Storm a team that they passed on? In terms of picking up like a player. So like strategic and strategy and having the ability to start from scratch could be very beneficial if you know what you're doing. And it's very clear that the Golden State Valkyries knew what they were doing. They weren't just talking the talk. They had the brains to back it up. Does that make sense? Does that make sense in terms of logic? There we go. Carl Semesco. There we go. Thank you. Carl Semesco. He inherited a Atlanta Dream team that already had stars on it, like Ryan Howard and Alicia Gray. And then we saw Brittany Griner be added to the roster. We saw Brianna Jones be added to the roster. We saw some changes happen to this Atlanta Dream team, and we see that Atlanta, for the most part, is rocking and rolling, right? Teresa asked, did Bree Hall play? She did not play. yesterday. She did not play. She did not play. Aerial Powers did not play, and Caitlin Chen did not play in yesterday's game. JN, thank you so much for the super chat. Says bench player / 6-man always play harder. I mean, yeah. Especially if you're looking at the Golden State Valkyries, yes, they do. They just work. And it's not like I'm the star, cater to me. Oh no, this offense has to run this certain way. No, it's clear that they just do whatever Natalie says. Whatever her clipboard says, whatever the scout says, that's what they do. Well, besides that Dallas Wings game, which was pretty bad for them. But you get what I'm saying. Like, this is a very good, very, very good team that did the thing. And when we talk about the Golden State Valkyries, we got to talk about the defense, because defensively is what beat this defense is what beat this Indiana Fever team, right? And it started from the head, right? If you want to stop the Indiana Fever, if you want to beat the Fever and win that game, you got to start with one player, Caitlin Clark, of course. Caitlin finished with just 11 points. Like, only made like 3 field goals. Like, she was 0 for 7 from 3. Like, she just couldn't do anything. And the reason why is because of defense. This was the second time in her WNBA career that she has not hit a 3-point shot. And it's because the Golden State Valkyries was like, hey, not in our house, right? You had Tiff Hayes, Kayla Thornton, LA, and others who were just, everybody was just taking it, doubles, trapping her, forcing her a certain way, playing physical defense, contesting every single look. This was not a dirty game. This was a game where she met her match. She met disciplined defense. That's what this Golden State Valkyries did yesterday. Disciplined but physical defense. Smart defense. And the Indiana Fever just could not adjust. Now, a thing to remember, guys, is that both DeWanna Bonner, who is still out for personal reasons. We don't know why DeWanna Bonner is out. So I feel like some people asked me yesterday, what's going on with DeWanna Bonner? I don't know. She's out for personal reasons. We don't know what it is. I'm not speculating either. I don't know. But she's still out. And then we also have Stephanie White, who has had to take a step away from the team. She's also away from the team. And so for you to not have your normal head coach and for you to have to get the job done with one of your assistants and assistant coaches are trained to be able to step in if the head coach is out. But basically what I'm trying to say is the Fever met their match and they were not able to adjust their game plan. They weren't able to adjust. And I mean, the Golden State Valkyries have kind of laid out the blueprint for guarding the Indiana Fever. Now, sure, you don't stop everybody because Aaliyah Boston gets her points and whatnot. But hey, I would let that happen. Hey, if you're gonna get beat by anybody, just don't get beat by the guards, okay? As long as Caitlin and Kelsey are having tough games, hey, you're gonna have a good night. You're gonna have a really good night. All right. So here's the thing: the Indiana Fever had this game in their hands. They had it in their hands going into the second half. They even had the lead going into the fourth. But Golden State, I was about to say the Golden State Warriors. The Golden State Valkyries handle their business late in the second half, in that fourth quarter. They go on a 33-18 run in the fourth quarter. 33 points in the fourth quarter. Guys, that is sheer domination. Kayla Thornton knocking down threes, okay? Letitia Ami here blocking shots and showing the crowd like, yeah, I belong here. I belong here. I belong here. We got Tiff Hayes. Y'all talk about it seemed like somebody caught it on Twitter. I like briefly saw somebody was like, hey, you met your match yesterday because talk about floppers. Yeah, Caitlin's a flopper, of course, we all know that. But Tiffany Hayes has always been a flopper. and she was doing her thing as well, trying to sell calls. Here's the thing. Yes, the Indiana Fever did miss Stephanie White last night, and that family matter, personal matter, or whatever that she's dealing with, like that made an impact. And if Stephanie White was there, maybe this game does not get as out of control in the fourth quarter. Austin Kelly was the interim head coach, and he tried to do his thing, but the Fever did not have a backup plan ready for what the Golden State Valkyries was trying to do on offense on defense, and so that was kind of cool. So late game, guys, a question for you: Do you think that the Indiana Fever's late game struggles was specifically about coaching? Was it just that the Fever were tired, or is it just a red hot Valkyrie squad that was locked and loaded, and there was nothing anybody could do to stop them? I'm curious to hear what you all have to say. LK says Tip is a flopper, but she's our flopper. Tip is a flopper, but she's our fault. That's spoken like a true fan. That's what. Hey, here's the thing about a fandom. You get upset when another team does the same thing your team does, right? It is very true. It is very true. That's what fans do. That's what fans do. Okay. Bright says no excuses. They just got outplayed. Yeah. The Golden State Valkyries bench was amazing. Absolutely amazing. Okay. Let's see. Heather said Fever lost because Caitlin Clark was off and the Fever are hot. Okay. June says the Valkyrie squad was locked and loaded and played a great game. They did. Yeah. But again, it just shows the great signings that the Golden State Valkyries have done, because again, the only reason you got Chloe Bibby and Letitia Ami here is because you got some girls over in EuroBasket. And also, guys, speaking of EuroBasket, I do want to do some quick updates for you all, just to make sure you all are aware, because right now, basically as we speak over in Europe, we do have, also guys, just real quick, player of the game, definitely Kayla Thornton, who did her thing. Okay. All right. And also it was cool to see, Caitlin and Kate Martin, go against each other. That was kind of fun to see as well. All right. Let's move on. Next up, let's talk about EuroBasket. It is my job. I have made this my job to keep you all up to date with what's happening in EuroBasket. There's a lot of stuff happening in women's basketball as a whole lot of stuff. And I know there's a lot of news in the WNBA. There's a lot of news just overall that we could talk about, college basketball, all that good stuff. But because we have a lot of WNBA players overseas, I thought, and also because I don't know if anybody else is going to cover this stuff, I was like, you know what? I need to make it my business to actually cover as much as I can what is happening overseas, because I'm like, okay, people need to know. Y'all need to know what these WNBA players are actually doing overseas. And guys, let's actually talk about it. All right. So let's talk about the games that happened yesterday. So yesterday we saw Czechia take down Montenegro. The final score of that game was 89-44 in that game. I mean, it was just over from the get-go. There was nothing really anybody could really do. In terms of both of these teams, there are no current WNBA players on either Czechia or Montenegro, so I'm not going to go in detail about these teams because, again, you all don't know who some of these people are. Okay, all right. Let's just go down the line of the other games that happened yesterday. All right. Yesterday we also it's always yes, Carmela. I did talk about Mercury Liberty. I feel like I spent way more time talking about the Fever and the I feel like I spent a lot of time talking about the Fever and whatnot. But anyway, I do want to talk real quick about EuroBasket real quick. All right. So also we saw yesterday Team Belgium, the reigning EuroBasket champions. They took down Portugal in a very, very easy game, 81-52. A thing to note about Belgium is we got some current and former WNBA players on this team. We got Emma Miesemann, who did her thing in this one. She is not currently in the WNBA, but she was in the WNBA. She played for several teams in the WNBA. Most notably, I would say the Washington Mystics and the Chicago Sky. Emma had 9 points and 11 rebounds yesterday, as well as 6 assists. She was kind of close to a triple-double for Emma. We also saw Kyra Linskins, who was previously in the WNBA, but was ultimately waived. She ended up starting and having 9 points as well. And, of course, if we're talking about Belgium, we got to talk about the two Julies who are doing their thing for Team Belgium. We got Julie Van Loo, or Julie Van Low, whatever you want to say. With that, she had 13 points in yesterday's game, 13 points, 6 rebounds, and 5 assists. And then we had Julie Alleman. She ended up having 10 points in yesterday's game as well. Again, I'm just primarily my job is to just cover the WNBA players who are current and former WNBA players who are actually playing over in Europe. Okay. All right. There is no current WNBA player that plays for Portugal, so we're going to skip talking about Portugal for time's sake because I don't have a ton of time. Okay. All right. Let's move on and let's talk about Germany versus Sweden. So we saw the Germans take on Sweden, and this was a game that was actually pretty close. Pretty close. Germany ended up winning 89-76. And for Team Germany, we got a lot of players that you all probably know. We got Luisa Geisel-Sorter, who plays, remember guys, she's the center for the Dallas Wings. She was really, really good for Germany yesterday. Had 20 points for her, 20 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists. It's kind of funny how both of the centers for the Dallas Wings, also, if I didn't say Dallas Wings, I meant she's a center on the Dallas Wings. I blanked out on what I just said earlier, but anyway, she plays for the Dallas Wings. It's funny how both Geisel-Sorter and Tierra McCowan are really dominating in EuroBasket right now. They're doing their thing. And speaking of players that the New York Liberty was missing yesterday, I mentioned earlier that Leonie Fiebig is playing in EuroBasket. She plays for Team Germany. And Leo yesterday did her thing as well. 16 points for her, 4 of 7 from the three-point line. She ended up with 7 rebounds as well for Leonie Fibic. Okay. And also real quick for the rest of these players, Clara Lindquist was briefly in the WNBA. She had 17 points for her. Clara had 17 points and 10 rebounds, almost a triple-double with 7 assists as well. All right, let's continue down the line in terms of the other games that happened yesterday. And of course, we got to talk about France. Okay? We got to talk about France because them French ladies yesterday was straight up balling. We ended up seeing France dominate against Greece. Final score of that game was 92 France, 56 Greece. In that game, we got a lot of really good French players. Ilyana Rupert, 14 points for her. Janelle Salon, 17 points for her. 5 rebounds as well. Marine Badian, or I always get really confused at how to say her last name. She had 4 points. Layla Lacan had 4 points as well, as really no one needed to do too much because it was kind of a easy peasy lemon squeezy type of game for France. Very, very, very easy game. And also, guys, remember Robin Parks plays for Team Greece, and she had 7 points and 7 rebounds in the Greek loss. All right. Again, we are just trying to cruise through this stuff, telling you all some of the stuff that you all need to know. And I want to get to this next game that I was like, wow, this is actually like very, very surprising. All right. So let's talk about Italy versus Slovenia. Italy ended up winning that game 77 to Slovenia with 66. And the reason why I want to talk about this game is because we saw a kind of massive comeback in yesterday's games. Here's the thing. Italy was killing Slovenia in the third quarter. Killing, right? At one point, the score was 51 Italy, 27 Slovenia. Okay? 51 to 27 in the third quarter. Now, of course, you all don't know the players on Slovenia and whatnot, but just imagine your favorite team getting killed 51 to 27. Imagine that. Put that in your head. Okay. If you are getting beat by that bad, most teams would, they'd kind of pack it in, kind of be like, we got killed. Woe is me. Let's put the bench players in. Let's just wallow in our horribleness, right? Again, the third quarter, you're getting killed 50 to 27. But nah, that's not what Slovenia does. Slovenia mounts a massive, and I mean massive, comeback in this game, both defensively and offensively, to tie the game at 62-62 in the fourth quarter. In a matter of close to 10 minutes, Slovenia has a comeback for the ages. Again, you're down bad. Now, all of a sudden, you tie that thing up. 62-62. Unfortunately for Slovenia, they spent so much effort trying to get back into this game. So much effort, guys. So much effort. That they just ended up not being able to finish out the game. Boy, oh boy, would I have loved to tell you how Slovenia would have won the game. But unfortunately, while they mount that massive comeback, all that energy, it was too much. It was too much. So ultimately, at the end of the day, in the last 5 minutes or so, Italy was able to close the door and win 77-66. But I gotta say, Slovenia, I gotta give a shout out to Slovenia, because what a comeback. What a comeback. Yes, you lose the game, but you don't give up. You don't give up. And that, to me, is very, very, very important. For Team Italy, we got some WNBA players on there. We got Cecilia Zandalicini on the team for Italy. She had 14 points yesterday. 5 rebounds for her. And guys, if you don't know, Cecilia Zandalicini plays for the Minnesota Lynx. Former WNBA player Lorella Kubai plays for Italy as well. She had 11 points, 8 rebounds in that one. And again, shout out to Slovenia. They have Aisha Sivka. She is the player that the Chicago Sky ended up picking up. And she had 16 points in yesterday's game. She was doing her thing. Jessica Shepard, who plays for the Minnesota Lynx, she had 20 points in yesterday's game as well. 20 points, 6 rebounds, which was pretty cool to see. So yes, Slovenia lose. However, what a massive comeback. Again, yes, you lose. However, they lose with dignity. They lose coming back. They lose trying. And you got to respect it. Okay? And also, it just shows that, even though you're down bad, so next time, the reason why I wanted to talk about this, the reason why I wanted to really break down this game in particular and the crazy comeback for Slovenia, the reason why I want to do that is because next time, your WNBA team, whoever your team is that you have pledged allegiance to in terms of fandom, right? Next time your team is down real bad, just know that it is possible to make an epic comeback, okay? Just know it is not over until the final buzzer buzzes, okay? That's why I want to talk about this, because y'all don't know these players, y'all don't know these teams, y'all don't know the coaches, y'all don't know, probably didn't even watch the game, but the reason why I'm going through this is because I think it's important to just know that what is possible. It really is possible to make a epic comeback. Again, a team that was down 51-27 ended up tying up the game 62-62. Now, yes, you lose, but again, massive comeback. Massive comeback. Okay? All right. Let's continue on. I think I spent way too much time on that one recap. Anyway, let's get to the other games that happened yesterday as well. Yesterday we also saw Switzerland lose to Turkey. Turkey ended up winning the game 91-67. And when it comes to Turkey, I mean, it was kind of easy peasy lemon squeezy. I mean, it was pretty easy. It was pretty easy for Turkey. Remember, guys, Tierra McCowan plays for Team Turkey, and she had 19 points, 12 rebounds. Again, she just, over in Europe, Tierra McCowan just dominates. She just is very, very good. Okay, very, very good. Again, 19 points, 12 rebounds for Tierra McCowan. We saw Sevgi Uzun have 14 points as well in the Turkish win. So, again, shout out to Turkey. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Did y'all used to say that phrase when y'all was younger? I used to I used to love saying that phrase. I think that's such a fun phrase. One of my top phrases, just in general. Okay. Anyway, let's kind of wrap it up. So the final game I want to talk about that happened yesterday in EuroBasket, and it was between Spain and Great Britain. 85 Spain, 70 Great Britain. In this game, we just saw Spain kind of just do their thing. They had a fantastic first half for Spain, and in that second half, Great Britain tried to come back. Right? They tried their best to come back, and in that second half, Great Britain actually plays a really, really good game. However, they don't. The problem was that Spain had a masterful second quarter. Masterful, right? They had a second quarter where they scored 30 points. 30-12. So Spain was cooking in that second quarter. And while Great Britain ended up mounting a massive sort of like resurgence in the second half, it wasn't enough to counteract that crazy second quarter for Spain. And ultimately, Spain ends up getting the dub. And for Spain, I mean, the problem or the benefit of Team Spain, it's a problem if you're going against them, it's a benefit if you are them, is that Team Spain is Xana Lucini used to play for the Minnesota Lynx. Sometimes I do that where like I'm thinking about where she used to play. She used to play for the Minnesota Lynx. Now she plays for the Golden State Valkyries. Thank you for that. Appreciate it. Thank you. But anyway, the thing about the Spanish national team is that they are very balanced. Very, very, very balanced. Where you're not going to see anybody score 20 plus points. They're all going to score. Every single player but one scored points in yesterday's game for Team Spain. Everybody was doing anything. And also there is no current WNBA players on Team Spain, so I'm not going to go into specifically who did what. But there are, we do have some familiarity with Team Great Britain, and with that, another Golden State Valkyries player, Timmy Fagbenle. She had 14 points in this one for Great Britain, 8 rebounds for Timmy as well. So yes, Great Britain lose, but Timmy plays a pretty good game. We'll see if we will see what Great Britain does in their next game. On deck today, we got a bunch of good games later today. We got Sweden versus Great Britain, which should be really fun. We got Spain versus Germany. We have Montenegro versus Belgium, which that's gonna be a sad blowout. That's gonna be a sad blowout. I'm just saying. And then we have Portugal versus Czechia. All right, so those are the games that we have later today. All right, that's the stream, guys. That's the stream. Also, real quick, the WNBA games that we have later today that you all may want to end up watching. I mean, I recommend you watch, but you do you. We got the Washington Mystics versus the Atlanta Dream. We have the Dallas Wings versus the Connecticut Sun. The Seattle Storm versus the Las Vegas Aces. Okay? All right. That is the stream. Guys, I know I went over today because I just had a lot of stuff I wanted to talk about. But again, I thank y'all so much for rocking with me. Happy Friday. Y'all have a great rest of your day. Please make sure to hit that like button. Also, tell me what you thought about the stream. What you think about the topics. Again, we talked about the 2 WNBA games that happened yesterday. I also gave you all an update about what's happening in EuroBasket as well. Was that even interesting? Do you all even care? I know it's very few of y'all who are even watching these games. Also, if you want to watch these games, you can actually watch them via a subscription. So you need to subscribe to Courtside 1891, right? And so Courtside 1891. That is a subscription you need to have if you want to watch these games as they are happening. Okay. All right. Courtside 1891 is the official home for FIBA basketball live stream. So if you want to watch any of the EuroBasket games live, you can do that at Courtside 1891. Apologize. Somebody asked me yesterday, and I forgot to reply to the comment. So Courtside 1891, that is how you can watch these games live. Also, if you just want to watch highlights, you can find those on the FIBA YouTube channel. All right. Anyway, thank you for rocking with me. Make sure to share this video with someone. Tell somebody what's going on. tell somebody what's going on. All right. Row 2 says, good stream. Love that you are staying on point and not letting comments take you off topic. Well done. I've been trying. As y'all know, I'm like a squirrel type of person. I just get distracted and I, go into a rabbit hole or whatever. But I've been trying my best to I have like notes of like, okay, talk about this, and so I'm trying to like hit the main stuff I want to talk about. And so I'm trying to do that more and be less like off in the wilderness in the comments sometimes. Y'all be having a good time in the comments. I appreciate y'all so much for rocking with me in the comments. I do go back later and see what you all are saying. Trying to keep on topic and not make these live streams 5 hours because we're off in some rabbit hole trail or whatever. Anyway, I thank y'all so much for rocking with me. Ooh, it is 9:00. I gotta go now. I'll see y'all in the next one. And until next time, guys, bye-bye.
Are you ready?
Ready, set, go.